Good evening once again, and it's Talking Technical, and as always, we've got many requests, and thank you for watching the show. Even some newcomers are sending me some emails. The other day I had a guy, Maluleke, and he said, well, he sort of got hold of the program and he loves it, and he believes that he can learn a lot. Now, that's exactly what it's all about, Maluleke. It's that you send in your requests. We, of course, discuss it. We give you a technical opinion, and sometimes you fall in love with technical analysis like I'm in love with I cannot even remember, from the 1977s, but long before computers. I mean, let's see and let's watch and see how many requests we can do. Well, the first one was Renergen from Paul, and he's asking about a proper buying level for that. Well, of course, if you look at Renergen, like many stocks in South Africa, a lot of them had some beautiful rallies. And if you think about it, if you look at this stock was a little bit under pressure for a while. And I mean, look at this massive sell-off that we saw here. And Carl, I like what I see here. I see the sell-off from about 42 Rand all the way down to 28 Rand. But what do we see here? What I like about it, it closed this gap. That's the first positive. Of course, there's still another gap here at the bottom. It first closed this gap. This gap was between 29.25 and 29. That is a positive. Look at this beautiful dragonfly candle. This is the two candles that hold the key for me. One is a beautiful hammer. It maybe hits out the lows, and then it was followed up with a tiny one. But look at this beautiful gap, and that was now between Monday and Tuesday. Now, the gap is between 29.70 and 30.75 Rand. And Carl, while this gap is open, although I'm not very much in favor of this little candle because it looks like there is some sellers around. Look at that tiny little shadow to the top. But it does tell me while this gap is open, it tells you that the momentum wants to move to the upside. And if I use a tiny trend line here, and I just point that top all the way to that top, then you can see that it jumped above this support line, and now it's a support. And for me personally, you say you're looking for a buying level. Let's have a look here. I will be quite confident to buy it above that little candle there. Let's just zoom it out for you, and that will be above 31.60 Rand. And of course, where's my stop loss? In actual fact, I will not use this as my stop loss because this is sort of an uncertain area. It's probably an emotional gap. I will use the low of this candle, and that is 28.59 Rand as my stop loss. And by the way, if it starts to go, where can it go to? It can go to 31.94, 32.95, 34.40, 35.70, and even 36.84. So Carl, thank you very much to give us a nice chart so that people can see, yes, there's maybe a tiny little opportunity, and the share had a nice sell-off from 43 to 28, so maybe there's a little bit of a relief bounce here. Let's have a look at Lewis. And Wusi asked about Lewis. Now, I like Lewis stores because they are a sharp group of guys. They know what to sell, and they're quite involved in the market, the B income group, and I like that because, there you are. If you look at Lewis here, there you are. They are furniture retailers, but look at this chart. You see, I'm a little bit nervous, and I'll tell you why I'm a little bit nervous, because look at these candles. I mean, if it starts to go from 41 Rand, that's now a specific candle. It goes in one day up to 43. The next day it goes from 43 to 47 Rand. Then suddenly it drops from 51.50 all the way down to 47. For me, it's a little bit of a nervous chart, and I don't like these big candles. What I've said to somebody else about a week ago, I said to him, if you've got an index rushing up 1,000 points and dropping another 1,000 points in a day or two, and it's almost like in uncertain territory, and you find it with a share as well, it shows you that the traders are not 100% sure, and even the investors are not sure, because what they want to do is they want these tiny candles, they want a nice break, they want a tight stop loss, and then you can trade off it. I mean, if you, say for instance, you chase the momentum here, you need to chase the momentum above 51 Rand 48 cents, right at the top, because you are a momentum trader. And where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is at 44 Rand. That's a 6 Rand stop loss. It's almost a 10 to 12% stop loss. A little bit big. So for me personally, Wusi, I will sit on my hands and I will just say, let's just give it a little bit of time so that the share can just give us a little more clarity. Let's have a look at Pete's request. And Pete is looking for transaction capital. Well, usually if I hear about transaction capital, I always hear about guys that just wants to buy the stock. They don't want to sell it. Well, if I look at this chart, Pete, what I like about it is that, of course, yes, it was also sold off from around 49 Rand all the way down to 40 Rand. But what do I see? I always like that if I see the following. It looks like after the sell of the share is consolidating a bit. And look at these strong candles. I want to show you, I want to draw this line in, and then you will immediately see. Look at this strong support here. I put in a horizontal line there. And every time that the share gets to this 40 Rand 55, there is some buyers protecting that level. And that's actually the fact here. They want to tell you that they don't want the share to go below that. Although we've got these upper shadows, I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 5 candles protecting this level. So yes, I'm quite confident that it can maybe give us a little bit of a relief bounce here. Same story here. Also makes me a little bit worried because look at the candles from 40.93 all the way to 44 in one day. That's a big jump. But of course, if you want to trade it, I will say, unfortunately, you need to wait for this candle, 44 Rand and 68 cents to turn into a support if you want to buy it, because only then above that line you will know that these shadows, all these guys are happy to buy the stock, or that they've decided not to sell anymore and they want to participate in the rally up. So yes, buy above 44.68. Stop loss is 40 Rand 55. So another big stop loss, almost at 10-11%. But I mean, if you want to do that, you can do so. But your targets to the top 45.80, 46.96, and maybe the old-time high of 49 Rand. The only thing that I do worry a little bit about is the following. That's why I would like you to stick to that stop loss. What do we see here? We see a left shoulder, a massive head, and a right shoulder. And let's just do that projection so that you can see where it can go to. If I take it down there, I just put another one there from the head to the neckline, and I extend that to the downside. Look where it can go to. It can maybe surprise us all down to 36.61. And of course, many viewers will say, Frans, please, that will never happen. And that's the dangerous part about this market, because people have forgotten that markets can drop and shares can be under pressure for longer. So be careful. Let's have a look at Spar. And Spar, Leon asked about Spar. There you are. I just want to pull it in here. Well, let's have a look here. I mean, this share is under immense pressure. I don't know if there's something fundamentally wrong with the company, because look what we see here. We see a high, we see a lower high, we had a inverse head and shoulder here that everybody was getting excited about. Let's just show you here. And then suddenly the share just turned upside down and it just fell off a cliff. And you've got a straightforward, you can almost say lamp pole formation. Just have a look there. It just falls right through to the bottom. Well, I'm sure it's oversold as well. Let's just maybe do that quickly. And then we can see here. Should be oversold with this sort of sell-off. There you are. Oh yes, it's rock bottom. Rock bottom, but the safe play here is to leave it and try not to catch a falling knife. And I will then say, all right, I first want the consolidation. And the other thing that I would love it to do is it needs to get above this line, and that is above 167.90. Before then, the trend is down. There's a breakaway gap here at the top. That gap was below 195.40, between 195.40 and 192.73. Momentum down, stochastic oversold. That doesn't mean that it's going to turn around. I want a candle that can show me that it wants to turn around. So let's wait. But if you do want to buy when it turns around 167.90, buy it. Stop loss 162.60, and maybe it can get back to this 177.37, and maybe this gap that I've showed you now. Let's do another one, and let's have a look at Tiger Brands. Now, Tiger Brands is one of those big companies. I see that they want to cut some overheads, almost 500 million rands worth of overheads. And the same story here, if you look at it, almost under pressure as well. Same thing here. Just want to take that away. Let's have a look here. I don't want to see. Oh, whoa, what do we see here? Let's do it on a weekly chart. And I will just say, looks like all the food retailers and manufacturers are under pressure. I'm a little bit nervous. Look at this chart here. Ugly head and shoulder. I think let's just leave it alone. I mean, it's below this neckline. While it is below 179.92, just leave it unless you want to chase it above that 179.92. Make use of a stop loss of 192, and maybe it can go back to this high of 196, the right shoulder. But I'll be very nervous. I don't like this chart. I don't like the food charts. It looks like something is wrong. Maybe the customer or the client cannot pay the higher prices and higher inflation. Well, visit our website, www.fransklerk.com, and we'll chat again.